Welcome back to the SRS podcast. Today we're going to go over Marc's financial buckets so you have an idea of how it could work for you.
Hey Mark, how you doing?
Doing well today, Lou.
That's good.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Hey, last week,
How can I help you today?
you can help
Go
me
ahead.
by answering a question.
Yeah.
Last week, I did a podcast,
Yeah.
and I talked about buckets, which is something that we recommend to virtually everybody that we work with. But what I was thinking as I was doing that was, we did your buckets.
We did.
You came to me and you said, Lou, help me put my buckets together so that I can meet my goals along the way.
Absolutely.
Tell me what we came up with.
Well, I mean, we started with income.
Yep.
And we put products together that would give my wife and myself guaranteed income.
Wasn't the guarantee the key to putting that
It was.
together?
And it was the long-term care doubler that came with it.
Yep.
So it was guaranteed income, and the doubler was part one. So we would never run out of income, and if something happened to me or vice versa, the
Yep.
income would keep coming in.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, when we're all gone, whatever's left in there would go to beneficiaries.
That made Susan happy having that guarantee.
Well, probably made Merrick and Andrew and Tom and Greg more
a
happy.
little bit.
Okay. And then growth. We don't want to give up growth.
Not at all.
So-
No, you were 48 when you instituted this, so
I
growth
did.
was still very, very important.
Right.
Goodness.
So grow. You don't want to give growth up, but I don't want to. I don't want to have more growth with more risk.
Right.
I still want growth, but I don't want as much risk.
Right.
Okay. Being 58 now.
Well, that's why we took a big piece of it and we utilized dividend reinvestment.
We
That's
did.
part of that growth because we kind of wrap our hands around
We did.
what the growth was gonna
We
be.
had indexed, hybrid indexed annuities
Yep.
that would give me about 80-90% of the upside, zero downside.
Yep.
But then there was some brokerage and there was some regular mutual funds and some ETFs.
Yep. Oh, yeah, we used the market. Sure.
Okay. And reinvested dividends.
Yep. Yep.
Agree with that.
The fun part was when you did tax-free.
It was. I did that when I was 48.
Mm-hmm.
So I implemented a LERP without it being taxable money.
Right.
It was tax-free money, and I put in about 20 grand for each of us, and kept putting it in and put it in today.
Yeah, you're still putting it
And
in.
those are tax-free buckets that, even though it was not pre-tax money, we used after tax. We'll never pay taxes on the gains.
Right, all those benefits are there, including
And
long-term care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that turned out to be wonderful, and in fact, it's averaged probably about 6.8, 6.7%.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the way through.
It's been holding.
Even going
Ooh.
back to the 10-year period of, what do we say? What was that night? Was that 2000 to?
Well, you started this the tail end of 2008.
Yeah.
So, you unfortunately, fortunately, you started out with a zero. You didn't
Yeah,
go in the
yeah.
hole
No, I
at the
didn't.
beginning of this process.
Which it didn't take me 5-6 years to get back.
Not at all. Not at all. You were ahead. You were ahead right away.
Yeah.
In fact, we were ahead of illustration.
Right.
The end of the second
Right.
year.
The product did what it was supposed to
Yep.
do.
Yep.
So I think that was a very intricate, good piece, especially with the long-term care in it, and also money going to kids.
Right.
One day, possibly. Okay.
Yeah, if you still like them, then.
Right. And that was and then I still own a lot of life insurance for legacy.
Absolutely.
So legacy is still, if I can put everyone in a better position than they are today.
Well, and if
Why not do it?
if we structure it right, and when we look at legacy, you want to make sure if something happens to you in the short term,
Yeah.
Susan's taken care of.
Absolutely.
Then you have a really good situation there financially.
Absolutely.
And if all goes according to the way you want it to,
Yeah.
then it goes to kids.
So at the end of the day, the bucket theory makes a lot of sense.
And it just kind of lays everything out, and you can point to it and say, I have that money allocated for growth, I have that money allocated for income, that's allocated for legacy, and we're using the money for a specific purpose. And that way we know we have it in the right place. We're not trying to take income out of a growth bucket. We're not trying to leave an income bucket for legacy. It's all working.
That's true. And the growth bucket, I can be a little more aggressive with.
Yep, absolutely.
Even in bad times,
Yeah.
because I have other stuff in other buckets.
Doesn't it help to know if you get a bad market, the plane keeps chugging along the right way?
Absolutely. So that's why we like using buckets.
Fun putting together.
Thank you.
You're one of my best clients.
All of us at Secure Retirement Strategies sincerely hope that you have found this podcast informative. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call at 866-481-5211. You can also visit us on the web at srsstrategies.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, and you can also find this podcast in audio-only format on iTunes. Thanks.